is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So as I'm sitting here filming this, it's a beautiful sunny day, and I just finished actually filming a bunch of solar eclipse relationship readings and general readings. They are still available on my website if you'd like to know what's going on for the next 6 months for you. I've got so much to share and many observations about what's been happening since the solar eclipse. I feel like the emotions have been running very high, and there's been this really strong pull backwards, almost like an all or nothing kind of energy, where people who really want to make changes right now are making those changes, and people who are really in fear are holding on to a comfort zone that's not so comfortable. So I am curious to know where you feel you fit in that aspect. Are you open to the changes, or are you holding yourself back, or are you aware that you're holding yourself back? I kind of feel right now there's no in between. Now, I do also think there's a lot of fear and projection going out there, in the sense of, I guess, projecting those fears onto others around you. So I was saying the other day, be mindful of the energy that you're keeping right now or that you're consuming, because other people may be, in fear themselves, and that doesn't help. The old saying, misery loves company. If someone's not in great energy, it spreads. So just be mindful of what you're feeling right now. Ask yourself, is it your energy or is it someone else's? So there's that. And also the fact that we just entered Taurus season, which is a really great thing because it means we're going to slow down a little bit. I think that the last little while has felt so accelerated, and so much change has been like brewing. At the same time, it's all necessary, but this is going to slow things down a little bit. Now, on Tuesday, we are having a full moon in Scorpio. We are doing a full moon Zoom. It's a 2-hour general collective reading on Zoom, and it will include the recording so you can watch it later. And of course, a mini moon reading personalized just for you that gets sent within 2 weeks of the Zoom session. So the moon in Scorpio is very transformative. This is probably going to be one of the most powerful moons that you're going to feel because it's deep. It's very deep. I mean, Scorpio energy is death and rebirth. It's total transformation. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. And so you might already be feeling very deeply emotional, sensitive. You might be crying. Yeah, even some spicy energy. We can't forget that. If you've got some passion in the pants, doesn't surprise me either because it is intense. So let's take some overall themes and messages for this reading and see what we need to know about the week. And we have wait and listen. How interesting. I have been saying in the eclipse readings that I've just been filming that it's important to listen more than you speak right now. I think a lot of information is coming your way, and you don't get that information if you're speaking. Sometimes just sit back, listen, observe, and then make a move, okay? So that being said, let's get another message. What else do we need to know about this week? Joyful muse, inspiration. What inspires you? What are you looking forward to right now? What are the most profound lessons that you've learned recently? Number 33 is master teacher. So I kind of feel like some people have learned some lessons, or they're in the process of learning some lessons. Let's see what else we need to know. Increase. We're on our way up. Don't doubt yourself, okay? Everything's going to work out exactly the way that it's supposed to. So you may not see right now that abundance. You may not know what's going on behind the scenes or under the surface, but it's happening. It's almost like a garden, when you plant seeds, you don't see the roots. You don't know what's growing beneath the surface. You have no way of knowing until you see it pop up. And that's really about trusting the process. Now, let's take these cards and put them off to the side. And if we need them later, we can always refer to them. But what I want to do right now is look at each day of the week and see what we need to know. So I'm going to use these Moonology cards because we have the full moon in Scorpio. And let's take a look at Monday. The past. Oh, there's that nostalgia. You know, I mentioned that people have been feeling really pulled back and afraid of change, you know? And I just want to remind you, the comfort zone is not so comfortable, because if it is, why do you want to leave it? So let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday is, of course, the full moon in Scorpio. And this is asking you to accept responsibility. That's tough for people sometimes because we all have a role. Why are we in the situations that we're in? What is the reason? What could we have done differently? What could we learn? You know, I think I asked you earlier, like, what's the most profound lesson you've learned recently? Okay, let's take a look at Wednesday. And we have abundance. This is the thing. When we take responsibility and we make moves for ourselves, this is when we get the abundance. So it looks like we're going to have a nice day on Wednesday. Thursday, releasing. You want the new? You got to release the old. On Friday, we have release blocks. Okay, you know what's interesting? It almost feels like, for whatever reason, that the energies are going to hit a little bit later than usual. I can't explain it, but it almost feels like the releasing is not going to hit you right away. You're going to have to really think about what's going on. Like, what are the lessons? What are we taking responsibility for? And then as the days go on, it's like, oh, wow, like I got to release this, this, and this. I got to make changes here and there, maybe everywhere. It's really an intense energy. So let's take a look at Saturday. Communicate. You know, I'm not surprised that that came out because a lot of people right now need to just communicate their needs. What is it you want? You know, be clear with the universe, be clear with yourself. When you have clarity, you have peace. And that goes for relationships too. Cleansing. So on Sunday, cleansing, releasing, purging, letting go. Maybe even like physically cleaning your home or decluttering or clearing out your friends list, or I don't know, looking at your relationships around you and saying, what serves me? What doesn't? Where do I need to let go? And let me just add something else to this current energy right now. And that is, a lot of people are noticing a vibrational difference in their friendships and relationships. You know, there's this feeling of you can't take everyone with you. And friends and people want to see you do well. They don't want to see you do better. So sometimes you'll start to notice the gaps that are even greater between you and other people. And they'll want to pull you backwards. They'll want to keep you where they're at or where they like you, right? And you can't do what other people want you to do. It's your mind, it's your body, it's your soul. And so therefore, it's tough, but your new life is going to cost you your old life. And that sometimes means your connections. Now the sneak peek at the following week. Cut your losses. There you go. You can't make this up. I knew that I wanted to use this deck. I could feel it. Because again, I was using it for the solar eclipse readings. Okay, let's take a look at the tarot and go back to Monday. So there are some things coming up from the past, some darkness. Scorpio energy in general is dark. It's emotional. It drudges things up. It holds on to things longer than it really should. You know, Scorpio energy holds on so tightly to the very end, even when they shouldn't, because they don't want to shut that door, because they're afraid if they shut that door, they're done. And they don't like that feeling, right? So let's see. The devil, restrictions, see? Restrictions, addictions, codependency, being pulled backwards. On Tuesday, accept responsibility. Actually, and this card doesn't necessarily mean like being a fool, like being foolish, but like to some extent, accept responsibility for where you've been a fool or where you've been foolish, where maybe you were wrong. You know, it takes a lot of guts to accept responsibility and to own up to a mistake. And there's nothing wrong with making a mistake. It's a learning experience. But essentially, the Fool card in tarot is telling you to trust and take a leap of faith and have new beginnings. You know, maybe this is about addressing something that hasn't been addressed, or, you know, something that was swept under the rug that's finally come to the surface, and moving on from it. Now, on Wednesday, we have abundance here, abundance and love. Love, love, love this. Do you notice on the double card, let me just show the camera really quickly what this is. You've got two people that are in this web. They're restricted, they're held back. And then when you look at this card, you've got Cupid above. You know, you've got two people just absolutely surrounded by lovely energy. So there's abundance. Even the coloring of the card is very similar. Look at this and then look at that, like two totally different decks, not even connected to each other, and yet they have the same coloring. Cupid's arrow. Okay, now let's see Thursday. Releasing. Queen of making boundaries, cutting anything out that no longer serves you. Okay, releasing blocks. I think some of you have been holding back in love. You've been afraid to open your heart. The heart has been blocked for many reasons. Not wanting to leave an old connection behind, afraid of the unknown, afraid of putting oneself out there, you know, afraid of being rejected and hurt. But how do you know something's not the best thing that could ever happen to you? You have no way of knowing. And on Saturday, we have communicate, move forward, communicate your needs, your desires, cleansing. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? Do you want peace? I always say it's one thing to ask for happiness, another thing to allow it. Well, it's the same thing with peace. If you want peace in your life, you've got to make room for peace. You've got to accept responsibility, as we just said. You've got to make boundaries. And again, none of these things happen overnight. I think that's the difficult thing, is that it requires consistency. And something that I've been feeling lately in a lot of my interactions or sessions, whatever you want to call them, is that I feel like I'm really fighting for people. And I'm anchoring those energies because I want you to have it. So when I'm pushing or I'm challenging, it's, you know, it's very intense. You know, it takes a lot of energy, because a lot of the times, you know, we need to take accountability. You know, we need to take responsibility. And that's why I push. And that's why I give you every angle of everything, because I care, because I want you to have it. I can't allow any old stuff to creep up into the present and not address it. You know, I'm here to remind you of how to push yourself forward. And I take that very, very seriously. So let's take a look at the sneak peek here. We talked about cutting your losses. And there's the Empress, birthing a whole new cycle. Venus energy, self-worth, self-value, self-respect. It's Taurus energy because Venus rules Taurus and Libra. But essentially, we are in Taurus season now. So let's take a look with the Oracle cards to see what else we need to know. Let's go back to Monday. There are those restrictions, the past that could be holding you back. And this is telling you to go deep within. Take a deep breath. You've got a lot on your mind. You're contemplating something, but you can't live in your headspace. You know, one of the things that I'll tell you about Taurus energy and Scorpio, because they share the same axis, hence why we're in Taurus season with a Scorpio full moon. You know, those are real overthinking kind of signs. They know how to go MIA. They think about every angle of everything, you know, and it's okay. It's okay to reflect. It's okay to think, but can't live in that. You can't live in that past energy. It's important to be in the new. So let's take a look at Tuesday, you know, trusting, taking a leap of faith, being in the new energy, accepting responsibility. Well, here's the thing. I don't like this card, but I will say this. It does say be vulnerable, and that's what I would really like. I would really like for people to accept responsibility or take accountability, even when it's difficult, even when you don't feel good about past behaviors. It's okay to recognize that you are human, you make mistakes, nobody's perfect, and we move on from it. That's it. But this may be an energy where you've been feeling like you've been serving time, or you've felt, you know, even humiliated, or that there's fault or that there's punishment. I don't want you to be so hard on yourself. Again, you know, you are human. We all make mistakes. But don't put yourself through the ringer, you know. Let yourself be vulnerable, speak your needs, and then be open to new beginnings. Now, the Lovers and the Abundance here on Wednesday. Interesting. You know, wintertime is an energy of death and rebirth. It's like shedding the old, right? And this does say within the next 9 to 12 months. So ultimately, this is a very transformative year. I do think that abundance is very much possible. It depends on how much you believe it. Now, the Queen of Swords and those boundaries on Thursday, be careful that you're not crying over spilled milk. Accidents happen. This is my point. We make mistakes. It's okay. Don't sweat the small stuff. Leave it in the past. It's over. Cannot be changed. Cleanup time. And I talked about that. Like maybe declutter. Let it go. Don't worry so much. Now 5-5. Funny, we had 45-45. 4-4 is angels are with you. 5-5, big changes ahead. Could be tower moments, but not in a bad way. Okay, let's take a look at Friday about opening the heart. And we have here uncertain. See, this is my whole point. See the card? Look, release blocks. The block that's been there is the uncertainty. I don't know if I can have this. I don't know if I deserve this. Somebody is so hard on themselves. You got to believe that you're worthy of it. You got to believe that you can have it. Because if you don't believe it, who else is going to believe it? So let's see. The Chariot on Saturday, moving forward. Summertime. Now we're talking 3 to 6 months. Summertime here, obviously, in this part of the world. But in general, within 3 to 6 months. Look, the abundance is in the long run, right? 9 to 12 months. But this Chariot moving forward, communicate. You know, again, I'm going to repeat myself. I just finished filming these solar eclipse relationship and general readings. And those readings cover the next 6 months. And something that I've been saying is the importance of communication, communicating needs. This is going to lead us to the end of eclipse season and the next eclipses. Very interesting. Okay, Two of Swords. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? Making a decision to have peace. The yarn is about complications. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. Another 5, by the way, 555. Is it really complicated, or are you just making it complicated? I have this feeling that, again, with this all or nothing energy that I've been talking about, that some people are making things complicated so that they don't have to change. And nobody consciously does that. It's not like they sit there and go, geez, I want to make my life more complicated. But there is this energy right now that's like, nah, I got too many problems. This is a hassle. This is a mess. I don't know what to do. And here's another thing. I'm hearing a lot of, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And I'm confused, I'm confused, I'm confused. If you're in that energy that keeps saying, I don't know and I'm confused, you're going to continue being in I don't know and I'm confused. So stop telling yourself those things. Be careful of the negative self-talk. It does not serve you. Because we want to be in the Empress energy. We want new, right? You got to roll the dice. Plain and simple. Take a risk. Fate. What happens next? I almost read this as face what happens next instead of fate, but I mean, it can be. Fate. What happens next? Be open to that new cycle. You have no idea. Again, you have no idea how great it could actually be. Okay. Let me just see here. I'm looking for a specific deck. And of course, when I'm looking for what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. But that's okay. Let me just, I still see it. I'm still going to use it, but I want to take a card here because I must have picked up this deck for a reason. Chaos and conflict. Again, this is my point. Should I? Shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? Number 33. Learning. Look what we had right here. Excuse me. There we go. Number 33. We had it at the very beginning. There's this back and forth in the air right now. 33, 44. The thinker. Somebody's overthinking. Huh. Why? Look, you got to get out of your head with this who, what, when, where, why, and how. You're making it more complicated. So that being said, let me grab the power of surrender cards to see what you need to surrender or surrender to. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you're energized and happy, move forward. Okay. What else? Beautiful. Surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. This is my point. I've seen a lot of self-sabotage. Be very careful that you're not putting yourself in an energy where you don't make changes or you don't move. Okay? Now, at the bottom of the deck, I just happened to see this and mention it. It's important. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Super, super important. I really hope this resonates with you. If you would like a solar eclipse reading for the next 6 months, it's available on my website. If you'd like to attend the full moon Zoom on April 23rd, it's going to be a wonderful time, a lot of deep talks. If you'd like to do a personal session with me, I offer private readings on my website. As usual, thank you so much for your kindness and support. It really means the world to me. Your likes, your comments, your subscribes. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.